Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of The Feral Soul. I am so happy that you guys are here. I'm not sure when I'm going to publish this episode, but I am recording it the week of Christmas, which I'm very proud of myself for finding this consistency, you guys. It has been a long time coming and we're here. We're doing it. We are just doing it. I love connecting with you guys. I want to make that very clear. I just, a lot of like internal, personal like battles about thinking a time is just a weird thing for me, for my human, and I always think I'm out of it. Um, Let me know if you agree. But so we're working through it. We're working through it. But I'm really excited to share a little update with you guys. And I had just this really beautiful realization and just a really beautiful click happened for me over the past week or so. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. Yeah. So a little update. It is Christmas week. I still have all my presents to wrap. How are you a type A or type B person? I'm not sure. Let me know. Am both. I am both. I am a type A when it comes to certain things. I'm like very stickler on like rules and wanting to get things, if there is directions or something like that, then I like to follow those or I feel like I need to follow those. But the type B is probably my natural progression. And so, we are just pushing through. I'm going to wrap all my presents soon. But anyway, so little tangent. The last few weeks have been a little wild for our household, for the Shembra household. Um, my husband lost his job at the end of November, so like right before Thanksgiving. And it's fine. We are good. It's kind of funny because he literally is just way too good for the job that he had. Okay. They were not valuing him the way that they should have. And he was not earning the money that he should have been earning. And it was really like messing with his morale. It was messing with a lot of things. And I had told him before, you need to get out, you need to find another job, go and find something that you love, go find something that you're excited about, something that lights you up again. Like, go do something, And he didn't move. He didn't move. And the funny thing about the universe sometimes is that when you don't move when you're supposed to, the universe will move for you. So that is what happened there. And, fully support him. It was not his fault. And it was a blessing. It was definitely a blessing. Clear out that old junk and make way for something new. So he went on a few interviews. He actually ended up getting a job. And he really likes it. He's very excited. He's going to start at the beginning of January. So he's going to start right at the beginning of 2026. And I think it's going to be really fun. It's going to be a little bit different for him. Like I said, he's super excited about it. The only caveat to this, which this is what is going to lead us into today's episode. So just bear with me here. But the caveat to this is that he is going to be a 1099. And initially, when he told me that, I got very nervous and was like, well, but what about our benefits? What about the benefits? Even though we're not even using benefits from his job. We're using benefits from my job, but that's beside the point. But it was just this trigger or this nervous system response of like, wait a minute. We need to be in the system. You need to have your benefits and what about a W-2 and what about the security? And I think that there was just a lot of programming. There was a lot of socially constructed ideas on how you should be making money if you're an adult and you have a family to take care of, which is silly. And I really kind of like sat with it before I responded to him, just so you know, I was very supportive to his face. But in my head, I was thinking all of these things. And then I kind of thought with it and I sat with it and I thought like, well, wait a minute, Brittany, A is not very fair of you because I am wanting to, my goal is to have my business, have my spiritually led, my soul pull business full time and to leave my corporate job. For those of you that don't know, I do have a full time corporate job. I am a software engineer and I work from home, so I do have some flexibility, but I would love to just be doing this, just working with you guys all day, every day. It is my dream. So that's the goal, right? And when that happens, I am also not going to have employee benefits. I am not going to have, a 401k to put into. I'm not going to have, health benefits and those sorts of things. So how rude. How rude of me to say that my husband, has to have this muggle job. He has to have this, in the systems job, but I don't have to. So we really kind of talked about it. Yes, will we have to reorganize? Will we have to kind of look at our finances different? Maybe we'll have to open up a separate savings account for tax purposes, those sorts of things. But the reward for doing it this way is high greater. So, with great risk comes great reward. And, I think it's going to be really good for him and he's really excited. So there's been, kind of a lot of kind of playing around with money and with money beliefs and with just really getting our family set up in this, like, in a confidence building again, I guess you could say. And last week, I thought that I had like moved through it and I was good. But last week, I st- I started to get a body reflection, and I had this like really annoying zit on the inside of my nose. And it wasn't something that you could see. I just could feel it, and it was just really annoying, and it was irritated. And so we looked in. I intuitively looked in. For those of you guys that also don't know, I have trained my intuition in such a way that I use it as a precise measuring tool. So I'm able to look at any body reflections. I'm able to look at any reflections. I'm able to read energy fields, and I can measure things on a 0 to 100 scale. So I can get a percentage of what that reflection or what that thing is saying. So I looked in, and I reached out, I found a friend and got a calibration because, sometimes when you're reading yourself, you can emotionally manipulate. But anywho, it ended up being that I was unable, or I felt like I was unable to filter out or be unbothered by other people's perceptions. And this was just kind of like a tiny nuance. It was just a little annoyance for me, which tracks. And then it was in the financial mental area of life. So immediately, I knew what this was coming from. Okay, I clearly have not resolved all of this. There's still a little bit popping up. So I really started to do just this deep dive around what am I holding on to? And I know that right before I got this sit, I was chatting with my mom, and she was, just expressing how her nervousness or her apprehension around, a 1099 job and, all of these things. And I hold my mom's opinion very high. I've taken on a lot of really amazing programs from my mom, her work ethic, her hustle. She's not afraid to go after something. And she's one of those people where if there is a problem like put in front of her, then she just immediately problem solves and just figures out a way to push forward. And I absolutely love that. I love that. And I have really taken that on as my own, and it's something that I pride myself about. But I started to look into, well, why is she being so triggered by this? And because I had said to her, well, if I had lost my job, then I would want to just go full time with my business. And she was shocked and was like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? And I started to kind of like look in and think like, okay, what is this programming? What is this programming? And we are built, our society is built for to have us believe that we need to be put into the system, that you want to be, that the end goal, in order to be an adult, you should be in this system where you are getting W-2s, where you are working a corporate job and you are, a functioning member of society. And I think that what that ends up doing is it really ends up capping our belief in ourselves and our belief in what we are able to attain. And at the end of the day, we are limitless. We are limitless. Where we cap ourselves is with our mind. It's the constraints of what we believe we are able to achieve, what we believe we are able to do. And, we've talked about manifestation and that sort of stuff, but like really with creating the life that creating the life that you desire, you don't create the life that you want. You create the life that you believe you deserve. And a lot of that comes from this programming of like, okay, well, I have to get into a corporate job. You go to school, you get a degree, and then you go find a corporate job. And then, you're in the system and you get your paychecks every other week. And, you get your mortgage and you get, bills, bills, bills. And at the end of the day, you are limited. I am limited. I know my worth. I do. I know my worth, and I should be making more than what I'm making at my corporate job, but I'm capped. I'm capped. And a lot of us will sit there and we'll say, well, then I guess we just got to work harder and get further into the system and work our way up to management, work our way up to middle management, and then work our way up to upper management. And that's how you're able to make more money. But our souls came onto this earth not to be constrained by corporate America, not to be constrained by the limitations, the socially constructed limitations that that is put on us by society. We are limitless. And the amount of financial opportunities, the amount of money that you can be making, the where you can live, what you're doing with your life, all of that stuff is based on you. It's based on your mind. It's based on what you believe you are worth. Um, and that was something that I really had to kind of work through because I grew up wanting to be in the system. I grew up thinking like, okay, I just have to get good. Well, realistically, when I was in high school, I did not get good grades. I was not a good student. I did not think that I was smart. I did not think that I was going to amount to much. I thought that I was like, hey, she's a talker. Hey, I'm friendly. But when it came to especially like math and science and studies in schools, I just was not interested. It was like one ear and out the other sort of thing. Then when I ended up going to beauty school right out of high school. And I ended up working my way up as a stylist. I ended up finding a lot of success, a lot of happiness in that. I ended up working as an educator for Paul Mitchell Beauty Schools, and I loved it. And it was in that career that I again felt a ceiling. I felt a cap. I'm like, yeah, did I enjoy what I was doing? Yes, but I wasn't making any money. I really was not making any money, and I was being overworked. And honestly, I was not as valued as I should have been. And life ended up happening. I ended up getting carpal tunnel and I had to switch gears. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go to school and I'm going to raise that glass ceiling and I'm going to get a degree. And so I ended up going to school for computer science. And that was a huge 180 from what I was doing before. But I really prided myself on my ability to conform and to study and to get good grades. I graduated with honors from, so fitting, I'm wearing my UC Davis. I graduated from honors with um, a degree in computer science at UC Davis. worked really, 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 really hard. And I thought, you know what? Like now I've made it. Now I've got the thing, now I am an adult. Now I've got it. And so started my journey into corporate world. So it was really hard for me to kind of work through just how deeply programmed I was into thinking, what does success look like? What am I made for? What am I built for? And what am I capable of achieving? And I have had a lot of, really strong money, limiting beliefs around money and what I deserved and what my life could look like. And I just think that it's so common. I just think it's so common for us as regular people in society, to just fall in line, fall in suit, and just kind of go through the motions. And, the American dream is a pipe dream. And, very few people will be able to get it, sort of thing. And if you do, then you've got to be, you should have started that when you were 5. And that's just not where I came from, you know what I mean? That's just not where I got to my degree. I got to the place, this six-figure salary by conforming and by working really, really hard. And at the end of the day, it's not even what I'm meant to be doing. Now, everything is perfect. My higher self planned all of this, and I can see how being a software engineer, there are so many aspects to what I was doing. Just like when I was an educator for Paul Mitchell, there's so many aspects to those careers that I am able to take with me in my coaching business, and being able to get people to their highest timeline, being able to get people to heal their limiting beliefs and to just live a life that they're truly happy in. And that's really what it's all about. I really just want to change people's lives now that I have woken up from how I was holding myself back. And so, yes, there are a lot of overlaps, but I think that the biggest thing that I've realized throughout all of this is that my soul came here to expand. My soul came here on this earth to share spirituality, to share spiritual science, to connect and heal and really wake up the masses. Like, that is what my soul is here to do. And did it take me a lot of routes to get there? Yes, it did. But this purpose, my soul purpose that's here, I need not to be conformed. I can't be in the system and doing what it is that I love to do. And we all have a soul pull. We all have something that lights ourselves up. And there is an area of life that is specifically designed for your calling, for what you came here to do. And a lot of that is going to look like being able to be your own boss, being able to manage your day and control your day and be able to set your own ceiling. But you don't even need a ceiling. You don't even need a ceiling. You break that glass ceiling. So, and we can't do that if we are constrained by the systems. If we can't get to where we want to go if we are constantly concerned about corporate America. So, this is your invitation. This is your invitation to lean into your soul purpose, to lean into what it is that your higher self is urging you to do, to lean into what really lights you up, and noticing where are you limiting yourself? Where are you saying, "Oh, I can't have that because that's just not that I've never had that in my life. I've never had money in my life. I've never had, a really large savings account. I've never had a really big home. I've never been able to do, you know, I've never had those opportunities. So that's just not in my cards." This is a program. This is a negative program that is creating these beliefs that is you are making it mean something about yourself, and you are limiting yourself. You are limiting what is possible for your life. We didn't come here to play small. We didn't come here to play small. And if you're listening to this, if you have found me, then it is extremely likely that your higher self has huge plans for you. And part of that plan is to connect with a large amount of people and to, help change the world, to help change lives, to help make this world better, to help wake everybody else up on how energy really works. How does the universe really work? And you're going to need autonomy over your life in order to do that. And you're not going to get that by wanting to play small and sitting into the systems. So that is my little soapbox, my soapbox for today. I really want you guys to hear this. I really want you guys to understand that the life that you want is attainable, but it is constrained by what you believe you deserve, by what you have been, by the lies that have been fed to you. So what do you really want? What what would make your heart sing? What would make you happy? Figure that out and go for it. And go for it. And if you need help along the way, here I am, happy to help. In fact, I want to help. I want to help you. Let me help you. Okay, this was meant to be a quick one. I think I rambled a little bit. Um, if you guys have any questions, if you want me to go deeper on anything, then hit me up, drop a comment, find me on Instagram. I will link everything you need to get in contact with me, to book sessions with me. All of that will be in the show notes. If I do not talk to you guys, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. I keep wanting to say I will see you in 2026, but I have no idea if I'm going to post this this week. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay. I love you guys so, so much. I love you guys so much. This being with you is such a treat. It's such a joy. You guys make my heart sing and you light me up so much. And I just appreciate being able to connect with all of you. So I love you. I love you. I love you. And I will see you at the next one.